Ryosaki.
I know him. Yeah, I've heard of him.
Ralph Castro. Sijo Alfaro.
Right.
Great Grandmaster Ming Long. There are a lot of people out there that know about me, and they will tell you that there are many things that Bruce Lee picked up. He actually picked them up from me.
You see,
the way he placed his hand, the springing off of the back feet. Bruce used to have filmed me when I was coming up, from a white belt all the way up to a black belt. He started filming me, and he picked up a lot of things and a lot of movements in which I had to portray in movies. Bruce was not that good of a fighter. He was just another fighter. He wasn't a great fighter.
well, see,
He had what you call good timing. But Bruce didn't hit hard. Bruce had a lot of flash. He didn't have the power in which he demonstrated on the set. He did not. Now, if you have a bag that you set and have somebody to hold it, you can generate a great deal of power. But generate that power against a moving target or a target that will hit you back. That's a whole different game there.
well, I know this now. Yeah, I agree with you 100%. I saw a piece of footage online on the internet. There's this thing called YouTube, and they have this site. They had a piece of footage with Bruce Lee sparring, and it was a huge difference than what you see in the movies. So I understand what you're saying, but the general public to this day believes that, you know, Bruce Lee was the greatest fighter of your era, and that is unfortunately that's one of the things that I'm gonna have to discuss in this article. It's not that I'm trying to discredit him or his family, but right now they're making 2 museums for him. They're making one in Seattle. They're making one in China. They just had a special on the History Channel talking about, you know, how he changed the world, and, you know, there's no doubt about his image. He didn't do anything wrong. Himself didn't do anything wrong, but I feel like there was a marketing agenda behind him, associated with those magazines, that distorted the truth, and a lot of people who should have been given credit, who've been innovators in martial arts, have been glanced over. Like, people, I've heard many things about Moses Powell. Many people have said many great things about this gentleman, but the average New Yorker, like, you know, I grew up in New York City. I never heard about him until I started working on this project. I'm 32. You know, individual. What's that? Go ahead, sir.
If they would actually study Bruce Lee, there's nobody right now. You got guys that teach Jeet Kune Do.
Yes.
They can't do Jeet Kune Do. Nobody knows. When Bruce died, he took his theories and ideas of Jeet Kune Do. He died with it. If you take Danny and Lasanto and you tell him, is this Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do? He said, this is what I learned by moving with Bruce Lee. But when you actually see Bruce move against another opponent, it's not a set script. He doesn't come close to doing it. He was excellent in making moves. Like a lot of people.
Sure.
It's a game they're playing.
Right.
But he was good at that. But he was not a great fighter like a lot of people think he is. He was not that. Bruce, and I'll say to you again, Bruce actually studied me. And there were boxers and other people that he studied. He came up to me one day when I was fighting. And there are other people. That's Chuck Norris. He knows about it. He came up to me and he said, what's your name? And I told him my name because I didn't recognize Bruce then because I was watching him on the Green Hornet and stuff like that.
Right.
I didn't recognize him because he looked to be more solid in person than he did on screen because he looked very small on screen, but he was a little bit more solid than what he showed in that black. And he came up to me and he says, you have extremely fast hands and feet. Most people will say he says I had extremely fast hands, but he said both. I had both extremely fast hands and feet. And that I would go a long way in the martial arts. And I thank him for that. And when he walked away, I said, you know, what's your name? Because he knew my name.
Right.
He said, Bruce Lee. And that's when I ran up to him and I embraced him. You know, I said, "Oh, we watch you on Green Hornet all the time."
Okay.
You know, and he said, "Thank you," and he left. But Bruce and I have a kind of a history that I won't really go into because it's not about whether or not. Well, I just won't go into it unless I decide to as we talk.